Hey guys, welcome to Daily Devotional Day 2. Crazy! I know. Hopefully we're gonna keep this going till we make it through the Bible. I don't know. We'll see how long this goes. Hopefully at least a month. At least. We will see. But today we're gonna be in Genesis 1. Because I had a sermon on it at church camp this year. And it was just really good, so I wanna dive into that. So let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna be doing 2 verses in Genesis 1 and then 6 verses in Genesis 3. So yeah, let's go. So this is Genesis 1 verses 26 through 27, and again I have an ESV Bible. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Okay, let's talk about those, and then we'll go into the second half of today. So, Genesis 1 is one of the most contested parts of the Bible. And when people start trying to read the Bible, they usually start with Genesis 1, which means that's probably the part most people have read. So it's the part most people have doubts about. So it's also the easiest part for Satan to go after. Ooh, yeah. Easy for him to attack. And just like creation and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of hubbub about that. I don't know if it was really 7 days, if it was 7 actual days, or longer time periods that we've just called days. I don't know. I'm not Jesus, so I don't know everything. But he does, and we can ask him when we get to heaven. We can ask him all our questions. It'll be a lot of fun. But sorry, I'm looking at my notes. But really big thing is God chose to create. He could have just stayed just chilling out in nothingness, whatever he wanted to do. Sorry, I had a little battery warning. Cute. But he chose to create. He chose to create the whole universe and the earth. And the way the earth is, it's so crazy. If we were just a little bit more forward, we'd be uninhabitable because we'd be too close to the sun, and there'd be no water, there'd be nothing. But if we were just a little bit more further back, I think it's the degrees, within 2 degrees or something crazy like that, we would be frozen because we'd be too far from the sun. So that's just too much to be a coincidence. 1 or 2 degrees, come on, man. Anyway, but God made humans different than everything else in the universe and on Earth especially. He made humans different. As we've all heard, we're made in his image. We'll touch more on that in just a second. But I know I struggled with this a lot in December. I had a lot of self-image issues and a lot of self-worth issues. It was really bad. You can ask any of my friends. I was so depressed in November, December, January. It's a really fun time to know me. But a question was, what makes me valuable? How do I have worth? What is my worth? And our value is in who created us, because we are his sons and daughters, and we're made in his image. We're made to reflect him. And one thing I heard a lot, which really helped me change my perspective, is every time you make fun of your appearance and stuff like that, you're making fun of God and God's image and what God looks like. So oh, you have a weird nose. You're saying God has a weird nose? I got that beaten into me by my friend. And there's a big idea that's floating around in the world, that has been for a long time, and it's we are all equal. That is a Christian idea. That is a idea based in Christianity. And I know a lot of people who aren't Christians love saying equality. We're all equal. That's based on Christianity. But a lot of people, including me, back in like that time, like I said earlier, we may feel worthless, hopeless, or like a nobody, but we're all valuable, and no one is a nobody in God's eyes. Like, none of us are mistakes. Like, even if like we have a bad relationship with our parents, and we were an accident, God doesn't make accidents. God doesn't make mistakes. No, there's like a crazy chance of being alive, just like being alive, and like being conceived, and like it's just like crazy. This is something I'm really passionate about because I had a lot of self-image issues. You're not a mistake. I don't know who needs to hear that. You aren't. And if you feel like you're nobody, you're not nobody. No one is a nobody. We're all equal in God's eyes. You know? Okay. Good talk. Okay. We're in the second half of today's daily devotional. We are now in Genesis 3, verses 1 through 6. Again, ESV Bible. Let's read it. Now the serpent was more crafty than any other beast of the field that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God actually say, 'You shall not eat any of..." Whoa. Sorry. Let's start that part again. He said to the woman, "Did God actually say, 'You shall not eat of any tree in the garden'?" And the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, 'You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.'" But the serpent said to the woman, "You will surely not die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired and to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate, and she also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate. Okay, I don't understand my notes on this part, so I might wing a lot of this. But Eve had like zero confusion on what God's order was. Like, she knew, don't eat from that tree, done. Until Satan said one sentence. Like, that is crazy. Like, the doubts the devil puts in our mind is like insane. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's where I was going with this. God made us to reflect him. We are supposed to reflect his image and be like his ambassadors to the world. And something in this message was, there was an analogy, and our pastor had a mirror. And we are supposed to have the mirror tilted up. And so we are a reflection of God. But sometimes, usually, most people actually, me too sometimes, like I still struggle with this. We turn the mirror onto ourselves to reflect ourselves and glorify ourselves. And we should not be doing that. But the moment that Eve bit whatever fruit it was, pomegranate, apple, I do not know. Maybe it was a kiwi. We don't know. But in that moment, she turned the mirror onto herself. After she had been like perfect. Like, she had walked with God in the garden. Who doesn't want that? Like, no sin, no nothing. She was only living to glorify God and like obey his wishes and stuff like that. But the moment she bit the apple and then Adam bit the apple, they turned the mirror around. And that's when they found out they were naked. And that's when sin and stuff entered the world. So my Uber Eats is here. The next clip, I'm gonna have my Uber Eats with me. I got Jason's deli. Okay. So a big point in that is, with like the mirror thing, we're gonna go back to that, is what do people see in us when they look through the mirror? Do they see us and like things that glorify ourselves and what we want people to see that's only about ourselves? Or do they see God? Do they see God shining through us? Do they see attributes of God? Like, oh, she's so joyful, I wonder why that is. They're like, God. So they're like, oh, he's kind of egotistical. That's not of God. That's glorifying to yourself. I'm not explaining it really well, but I really hope y'all are getting what I'm trying to say. So that also means like our reputation and like things around us and the people we surround ourselves with. It's a big thing. And that also affects our self-image. So a big question at the end of it was, how do I reflect the image of God in my life? Like, what can you start to do to turn the mirror away from yourself and then tilt it up to face God? Oh, it got delivered. Sorry. let me get back on track. So that's a big question to wrestle with, is how do I or you reflect the image of God in your life? Or how can you start to reflect the image of God in your life? Because for me, I'm a choreographer and a dancer, all that fun stuff. And I get to teach kids dance. So I just try, especially this year, because I was kind of like mean last year and I don't want to do that again. But if I'm just trying to shine joy and like kind of like peace and knowledge, and I want that to come from God and not from like a place inside myself or like a place of anger or frustration. But I want to like just give him all God's grace and all that fun stuff. So think about that question, and if you want to tell me your answer in the comments, feel free. I'm not forcing you. The fact you've made it this far in the video is crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna go get my Uber Eats and then I'll wrap this up. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I didn't want to leave it sitting on my front porch. So I hope y'all enjoyed today. Today was a little longer. Let me know if you like the shorter or the longer ones. Because I could have split this into 2 days, but I just want to shove it all at you. So, I'm gonna eat my food, and then I'm gonna edit and post this. So, Jesus loves you. Have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.